Hey guys, it's Philip Obenschain, your Nashville APTV correspondent, and I'm here with Laura Jane Grace of Against Me.
I don't ever wanna talk that way again. I don't wanna know people like that anymore. As if there was an obligation, as if I owed you something. Black me out. I wanna piss on the walls of your house. I wanna chop those brass rings off your fat fucking fingers. As if you were kingmaker. As if, black me out.
You guys are on the road right now with the Gaslight Anthem.
We
Next,
are.
you're heading for the UK for a run. What's after that? What's your plan for the rest of this year and going into next year?
Well, that kind of takes us up to the end of this year. You know, like the UK run goes into kind of pretty late November or whatever, and then I'm not sure we're really doing anything in December. I think we kind of earned at least a little bit of time off of
Sure.
families and stuff, but we're just, kind of starting to formulate plans for next year, but it's looking like we'll be busy. We just, we're finishing up mixing a live record we recorded like last couple months of touring, and so going to put together a live record that'll come out at some point next year, and then we've already started working on new material, and just, everything feels good. Keep it going.
I was going to ask you about that. So you've been writing, you're thinking next album already, or is it a little early?
Yeah, totally. It's great. Our front of house guy, Mark, he has a studio in Michigan, so we've kind of in between tours just been going to his place and doing what we can, and the other day we had a day off in Memphis and we went into Ardent Studios there and,
nice.
and worked on a song, so I've just been kind of trying to take advantage of all opportunities we have to get into the studio.
Cool. Do you expect this one to be a little bit of a quicker process? I know Transgender Dysphoria Blues was sort of you had a couple of false starts, and it was kind of
an odyssey, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping it's not as much of an odyssey for this record, and it can be all smooth sailing.
Are you planning on producing this one yourself as well? I know you did that
I don't know. It's all loose when it comes to that. I like a band being in a room and kind of producing itself.
Sure.
And we all know what we're doing. We're professionals. So.
Right. Did producing the last record kind of affect the process in a different way? Because you had done the last two records with Butch Vig, so I know it's probably kind of a different environment when you're writing and you're recording your own stuff.
Sure, and I definitely realized I was really thankful for those opportunities to make those records with Butch and everything, and I looked at this record as kind of my opportunity to show him and Billy, who engineered those records, this is what I learned from working with you.
Sure.
So it wasn't like I was going for different techniques than I'd learned with them. We were definitely going into a different world, not being on a major label or anything anymore, and knowing we wanted to still take our time and not having the budget that we had before meant approaching it in a different way, building our own studio, stuff like that, which was eventually destroyed by a tree. But yeah, life happens.
Are there any plans to rebuild the studio? I had read that this was,
no, it's cool.
And was doing the DIY self-releasing thing liberating to sort of be back to your roots as far as being in full control over all the decision making and the way the record was distributed? Totally.
It just felt good to do something completely different in a completely different way than we had done it before,
Sure. And thematically, I feel like the last record was more socially conscious and sort of a shift from the politically charged stuff of your earlier records. Is that just
with
a direct
Transgender
reflection?
Dysphoria Blues, right?
Is that just a complete reflection of where you are and where your values are right now as far as what's more important to you?
Well, I think oftentimes, the most relevant politics are what you know personally and the way that applies to your life. So, oftentimes when you're young and you're in punk bands and you're making commentary on issues that are bigger global issues, while it's not necessarily not valid, it's sometimes hard to feel as confident in your views on them, about a war that's happening in a land you've never been to or whatever. So talking about things that really hit close to home and the politics that apply to those, I think it was Ian MacKaye who said your emotions are nothing but politics, right? So I believe that,
Cool. And how would you describe your current fan base now? Because you guys have been a major label band, you've done Warped Tour, you've toured with bands like the Foo Fighters.
Right.
You've been an independent band. So what sort of eclectic group of people do you guys? Well,
that's what it is. It's eclectic, because we have had so many opportunities to tour with so many bands. So it's anytime we've done a tour like that or a show opening up for somebody else or a festival thing, you gain a couple fans from that. So it's you open for Green Day, you get some fans, Foo Fighters, Mastodon, Silver Sun Pickups, whatever, and it creates a really good varied group of people that are coming out to a show. It's cool.
It seems like a really cool, just communal group of fans you guys have. We saw you guys a few times this year, and it's just a really awesome fan base that
For sure, yeah. No, I really genuinely love our fan base.
Yeah.
So.
And so what have you been listening to lately?
What have I been listening to? Where's my phone? Here's my phone. I'll tell you exactly what I've been listening to, because I got a playlist that I've been listening to every day lately. So the playlist I listened to today included the World Inferno Friendship Society, Crass, the Sex Pistols, Old 97s, Roland S. Howard, the Waterboys, Ryan Adams, that Gimme Something Good song. It's a good song. Outkast, Bob Dylan, Big Country, Handsome Furs, Zounds, Robin Hitchcock, The Clash, Graham Parker, Bikini Kill, Isabel Campbell, Mark Lanigan, Crass again, Future of the Left, Ryan Adams again, Handsome Furs, Pink Floyd, and Nick Lowe.
So
that's what I listened to today. Yeah.
That's amazing. You're living in Chicago now still?
I do. I live in Chicago.
And everybody else in the band is kind of scattered around now. Has that affected the process as far as recording and?
Well, it makes spontaneous practicing next to impossible.
Right.
I mean, Inge's in Norway, James is in Jersey, I'm in Chicago, and Adam's in LA. But it hasn't really, like, I mean, you know, I live in Chicago, but I haven't really been there that much this year. Like, we've been pretty much all year. We've been on tour, so like everything, we've all been together. So you know, the distance when we're at home doesn't really affect us right now. You know.
Sure. Are you enjoying living in Chicago?
Yeah, you know, last winter was tough, and I'm not looking forward to this winter. But it's a cool city.
Definitely a different climate from Florida.
For sure. When I first moved there, I was like, you know, I had a Florida wardrobe, so it was like that first winter, I was just like waking up in the morning, putting on everything I owned to go outside, you know, and walking out there like waddling out.
Nice, all the wind from the lake.
It's brutal.
And so at our APMA's Music Awards over the summer, you presented Joan Jett with the Icon Award.
Yes.
You have a really touching speech. And you guys have had a history before that. You've written with Joan. Mm-hmm. Do you guys keep in touch? Is that someone that's still part of your...
Yeah, she's like she's a real friend. You know, like we met on the Warped Tour in 2006, you know, and then like our paths just kind of crossed again a couple times over the years, and then when I came out in 2012, she reached out to me and was just like, if you need a friend, need support, you know, like, I'm here. And
that's amazing. She seems like such a great artist.
Great hand, yeah.
Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Who's gonna take you home tonight? Who's gonna take you home? Does God